So I actually am writing a book now called The Pirate Who Doesn't Know the Value of Pi. And it is about the relationship between the pirate and his parrot. I did go back to childhood. Here's a poem from it. This is the story of the pirate and his parrot, not unlike the ballad of Bonnie and Clyde, who, however, were a little more desperate and disparate. On the day of their meeting, the pirate was not yet a pirate, although always aspiring to become one when an adult. He had amassed a vast private collection of pirate arms, yatagans, grappling hooks, blunderbusses, Malaysian krises, 358 total. The parrot was already a parrot. How they met, closed-circuit cameras agree. In a dark pet store on a dank day, both nose and beak were full of mucus. Not a little nervously, the two confided in each other how much they loved to play with boorishly booming bazookas. They assaulted tourists from Bali all the way to the Venice Biennale, then took a trip down to California where they worked as instructors of calisthenics, calibration, and calligraphy, cooked cauliflowers, then reallocated themselves to crime, and finally with the proceeds bought themselves a galleon in case they should come across a large store of gold bullion. It was then they took to the sea and took up piracy. They raided packet boats, pedal boats, and boats at once packet and pedal, palanders, pirogues, pontoons, and gondolas made of metal, dhows, dinghies, baidarkas, catamarans, and clippers, felucas, garukas, tankers, bathtubs, and bathroom slippers. But whether on the wavy wave or on the coconut-strewn shore, they never did forget that old dark and dank pet store, not even when filling their coffers or beheading recently met coffers. They worked hard, became successful and wealthy. They bought art and a split-level house in New Jersey, although they were never in it for the cash, but because the criminal form of life is such a blast. What a beautiful song, said the pirate. I wish I knew all the ship names in it. Shh, said the pirate. We'll look them up later. Later when? Asked the pirate. When this book is over, said the parrot. The pirate fell into deep thought. Will we exist when this book is over? He suddenly asked. If it's a good book. And of course it's got sea shanties and similar songs. The pirate sails the squeamish main with a glass of muscadet. Oh, where can I get a good parrot to sing me yesterday? In came the pirate's parrot, a very learned parrot was he. I can sing you by Mir bist du schön, but not yesterday, perdie. In came the pirate's parrot, widely read in philosophy. A song I can sing you many a one, but I will not sing yesterday. The pirate dove into the water and paddled with both his arms until the waves that hit his face grew large and scary as barns. A teardrop fell from each his eye. He would not shed a third. You should have been a raven, you palace-bespattering bird. The pirate smoked a cigarette, got cancer and suddenly died. They smashed his chest open with axes and found a heart inside. The heart was the cause of death. In its capacity as the admittedly metaphorical organ of memory. Parrot, why didn't you sing him what he requested of you? You stinted to satisfy his soul, now his body lies here all bloody and blue. You valued your principles above your friend's psychology. Tomorrow and tomorrow you shall dearly wish you sang him yesterday. You must change your bright feathers for weeds. You must learn to cry nevermore. By the bruised sky, the cold, cold wave, the heather on the moor. Listen, parrot, says the pirate. The lights have gone out all over the ocean, and we're alone. What shall I tell you that might fit the occasion? My piggy, Porky, what was his name? The one that was with Winnie the Pooh. Piglet, says the parrot. Yes, says the pirate. Are we not just like them? Paragons of a perfect friendship? I'm not sure, says the parrot. Would you prefer then, says the pirate, another proverbial pair of companions, Socrates and Alcibiades? No, says the parrot. I mean to say, says the pirate, this, just as an omelet has properties other than the properties of eggs, milk, cheese, and whatever other parts, so a pirate and a parrot are more than a pirate without a parrot and a parrot without a pirate. Also, the number 2 is not the same as 2 ones. It's an even number, and they aren't. Socrates says this in Hippias Major. Socrates can say whatever he pleases, says the parrot, but I still don't feel we relate to each other. I feel you're a stranger to me, pirate. You can't make me out, really? You think I'm some interchangeable bird. Oh no, says the pirate. How can you even say that? Is it the night, the darkness? No, parrot. Stars shine even if clouds cover them. And the 2 of us are on the deck of a ship headed somewhere, God knows where, and we're headed together. But maybe it wasn't meant like that, says the parrot. Maybe we're here by chance. There'll be a long sentence in the 3rd line, which is a real sentence that I got from a logic textbook. Like first order and second order logic are complete and incomplete in different ways, the differences between the pirate and the parrot never cease to amaze. The parrot has just spent a half hour reading a sentence that says, for whereas if it is impossible that A, it is impossible that both A and not B, and similarly if it is necessary that B, that it is necessary that if A then B, does not so obviously follow from the claim that A is impossible or B is necessary. But the pirate used to have a part-time job as a Moyle in the box, who when he jumps out of the box breaks into "It's a long way to Tipperary." The pirate relaxes by playing with action figures depicting Einstein, Eisenstein, Gertrude Stein, Frankenstein, and Wittgenstein. But the parrot once stole Gertrude Stein, telling the pirate she emigrated to Palestine. He dressed Einstein and Eisenstein in the costumes of Batstein and Robinstein, and made Frankenstein wrestle Wittgenstein in the landscape of Liechtenstein, with speech bubbles saying, "Ow, my hip! And your name still isn't Frankenstein," generously provided by Roy Lichtenstein. The parrot likes rhyme, but the pirate thinks no rhyme is no crime as long as there's the sublime. Another time the pirate lost a regatta in the cutter that took on too much ricotta, which the parrot, trying to deballast, ate so much of that he had greater runs than a cantata or a toccata. And as he hung over the railings, losing his insides like some kind of piñata, the pirate didn't know whether to curse or laugh, and so was suddenly struck by a stupendous stutter. And thereafter, like the old man of Almata who fell into a gutter after eating panna cotta while sexually molesting Harry Potter, then Harry Potter, who with his spooktackles off looked like an heiress without a rada, to the old man of Almata who later lying in the gutter got an urging to utter, "I feel so ashamed, because my wife, whose motto was nothing in excess, has just died, and I already forgot her," but managed to mutter only incoherencies and inconsistencies because his entire self was so magically aflutter. The pirate solved the speech impediment by rubbing his palate with almost liquid sticks of parsley sprinkled butter, and the parrot sat on the stopper to stop his splutter. Reading this poem, the parrot finds some of the jokes funny and some forced, the total effect as arbitrary as Aristophanes. And the pirate responds, "Aristophanes, I don't even know her knees." The pirate believes that nothing is anything, that the world is just a coagulation of gunk that acquires form only in contact with language, and that the form thus acquired is unique to each contact. As for the parrot, he sometimes takes this for a fact and sometimes decides this is not a fact. Sometimes he opines it might be a fact. Sometimes he asks himself whether if it were, even were not, a fact, it would be possible to ascertain whether it might or might not be a fact, and then he tries to figure out what a fact is and becomes sidetracked. When the parrot is molting, he lowers his shade so that no light escapes, not even a single photon. The pirate, on the other hand, often photographs himself as Che Guevara, smoking Cuban cigars next to signs that admonish, "Nur für Kapitalisten, Rauchen verboten." And I'm just going to read one more piece. Oh, okay, I know which one. One day, the pirate and the parrot went to see their friend, the nudnik, who became a jihadnik, as he energetically engaged in preparing eggplant salad with his whistling scimitar of Damascene steel while crouching outside the cave that constituted his secret location. "Hola!" hollered the parrot. "Hola to you too," replied the nudnik, who became a jihadnik. "My friends," he then added, "it is such a perfect pleasure to see you. You, parrot, put on 15 pounds. You, pirate, look puffy and pale. How can you be so unhale in this ambiance Indo-Iranic? Have some eggplant. It's rich in vitamins. It's 100% organic." The friends tasted the eggplant and pronounced it good. "In all my adventures in nature," avowed the good-natured pirate, "whenever I took a break from plundering to set out hiking or, as more usual, swimming, or when with my tread betraying escalating excitement I entered an eating establishment such as restaurant, cafeteria, taco stand, noodle shop, kiosk specializing in local specialties without global gobble, I've never, and I mean never, no, I never, not ever, ever tasted such enticing eggplant. It is as gentle as babies when they're barely born, and not detrimental like rabies infecting a mammal forlorn. Yes, it is tasty and zesty like the leaping of a grasshopper above a freshly plowed furrow. Yet it's not noisy and nasty like the weeping of a teeny bopper when she stands on the subway platform thinking about ending it all because something her friends did awoke the Dracula of her inner sorrow. No, it's more like that split second when the human pain of that young shopper, and more importantly, her resolution to throw herself under a train after Stephanie and Jenny compared her to a small landlocked sockeye salmon called Kakani, because that sort of insensitivity is common to young people from an outlying borough, suddenly dissolves to the unheard strain of little orphan Annie singing tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. "This eggplant," responded the nudnik, who became a jihadnik because his therapist told him he got too much on the inside nick, reminds me that I have poisoned this eggplant. Yes, friends, I have poisoned this eggplant, but not like poison so that you fall down and expire. No, lightly and unmethodically, as if I were adding a seasoning like cumin or maybe cardamom, sufficient for diarrhea lasting perhaps a few hours or several days, not more. You might query wherefore I did it, whether my intentions were pedagogical, whether my tactics were psychological or gastroenterological. For memory responds to suffering much more than it respects the logical work. Not so, but it is ratiocination. I didn't intend any end. It was so that we three may jointly laugh at my light-hearted joke. Pirate. "Don't eat the eggplant, parrot. It's poisoned." Parrot. "Alack and well-a-day. Diarrhea, here I come." Thank you. Thank you.